Angelina Jolie, known worldwide for her humanitarian work, found herself embarking on one of her most challenging missions yet. This time she wasn't heading to a well-known crisis zone or disaster area, but to an isolated, forgotten village deep in the African savannah. The village, long neglected by international aid organizations, had been struggling silently against the odds. Droughts had turned their once fertile land into dust, and a lack of infrastructure left them cut off from the rest of the world. As her jeep approached the village, the sight before her was striking. The sun scorched the cracked earth, and makeshift huts made of mud and straw stood resilient against the elements. Children with curious eyes peeked out from behind their mothers, their faces a mixture of shyness and anticipation. Angelina stepped out, feeling the intense heat and dryness of the air. Despite their hardships, the villagers greeted her with a warm, quiet dignity that immediately moved her. She was welcomed by the village elder, a stoic man named Baba Abo. "We've heard of your work, Ms. Jolie," he said, his voice steady but laced with hope. "We don't need miracles. We just need someone to listen." Angelina nodded, understanding that this wasn't just a visit, it was the beginning of something much deeper. Determined to understand the villagers' struggles firsthand, Angelina spent the day walking through the community. She observed children carrying heavy jugs of murky water from a distant, shrinking stream, and women cooking sparse meals over open fires. Every face told a story of endurance, but their smiles hinted at a quiet resilience. She sat down with Dahlia, a single mother of 4, outside her small hut. Dahlia's hands were rough from years of hard labor, yet she spoke with a quiet strength. "Every day, I wake up before sunrise to fetch water," Dahlia explained. "By the time I return, half of it has spilled, and it's still not clean enough to drink." Angelina listened intently, jotting down notes in her journal. Later, she met Kamau, a bright 12-year-old boy who approached her with wide eyes. "I want to be a doctor," he said confidently, but his words were bittersweet as he gestured to the patch of earth where he studied. "This is my classroom," he added. It was nothing more than a shaded area under a tree, with no books or proper supplies. Angelina spent the evening reflecting on what she had seen. These people didn't just need charity. They needed sustainable solutions and a way to reclaim their dignity. Angelina returned to her lodging that night with a renewed sense of purpose. She immediately began making phone calls, reaching out to her network of philanthropists, aid organizations, and influential figures. Her goal was to shine a light on this village and ensure it received the resources it so desperately needed. Within days, she had secured commitments for several projects. The first priority was clean water. Angelina collaborated with an engineering team to plan the construction of a sustainable well. Simultaneously, she worked with education experts to fund and design a small school for the children. "This is just the start," she told her team. "We're not just giving them aid, we're giving them tools to build a future." Angelina also insisted that the villagers be involved in every step of the process. She wanted them to feel ownership over these changes, ensuring that the progress would be long-lasting. Dahlia volunteered to help coordinate the women of the village, while Kamau eagerly offered to assist the construction team. Weeks after her initial visit, the day of the well's unveiling arrived, and it was nothing short of monumental for the village. The engineering team, along with the villagers, had worked tirelessly under the scorching sun to complete the project. On the day the clean water flowed for the first time, the entire village gathered to witness it. Women sang songs of joy, and children danced barefoot in the dusty clearing, their laughter mingling with the sound of water splashing into buckets. Angelina stood to the side, observing the jubilant scene with tears in her eyes. She hadn't merely funded this well, she had seen to it that the villagers were trained to maintain it, ensuring its longevity. As Baba Ebo stepped forward to bless the well with a heartfelt prayer, he turned to Angelina with a rare smile. "This is not just water," he said. "It is life. It is hope." Meanwhile, the school's construction was making steady progress. The villagers, who initially had been unsure of their ability to contribute, now worked alongside the construction team with enthusiasm. Dahlia and a group of women painted bricks and helped to clear debris, while Kamau eagerly ferried tools and supplies between workers. Angelina was often seen among them, her hands dusty and her face smeared with sweat, laughing and encouraging everyone around her. One afternoon, a group of children approached Angelina with a shy request. They wanted to paint murals on the school's walls. "Of course!" she exclaimed, her smile broadening. The children, armed with brushes and paints, filled the walls with colorful depictions of their dreams: fields of green, animals running free, and books that opened into galaxies of stars. When the school was finally completed, the villagers held an inauguration ceremony. They dressed in their finest clothes, and the children sang a song they had written themselves. As Angelina cut the ribbon, Kamau stepped forward to thank her. "This school isn't just for us," he said, his voice steady despite his youth. "It's for the children who come after us. It's a promise that they will have a chance to dream too." As the news of the village's transformation spread, it caught the attention of journalists and philanthropists worldwide. Angelina's efforts, combined with the villagers' resilience, became a symbol of what could be achieved when empathy met action. Stories of the village's journey appeared in major publications, highlighting the strength of the people and the transformative power of collaboration. One day, a film crew arrived to document the changes. The villagers, initially shy, soon opened up, sharing their experiences and newfound hope. Dahlia spoke of how the clean water well had saved hours of her day, allowing her to focus on her children's education. Kamau, now a confident young leader among his peers, talked passionately about his aspirations to become a doctor and return to serve his community. The ripple effect didn't stop there. Inspired by the story, a group of international donors pledged support to fund similar projects in other neglected villages. Volunteers from around the world reached out, wanting to contribute their skills and resources. Angelina took this as an opportunity to create a larger initiative, forming a foundation focused on sustainable development in remote areas. Back in the village, the changes were palpable. Women formed cooperatives to sell handmade crafts, using the income to send their children to school. The children, once burdened by daily survival, now spent their days learning and playing in the vibrant schoolyard. A small clinic was also being planned, inspired by Kamau's dream of becoming a doctor. Angelina returned to the village several months later to see the progress. She found Kamau teaching younger children under the tree that had once been his classroom, his face radiant with pride. "This tree used to be our school," he said, pointing to the spot where he had once dreamed of a better future. "Now we have a real school, but I still come here to remember where it all began." As she walked through the village, Angelina saw the transformation in every corner: in the sturdy well that continued to provide clean water, the school filled with laughter and learning, and the confident strides of villagers who now held the reins of their destiny. The impact of their collective efforts had extended far beyond the village, proving that even the smallest actions could create ripples of change that spread across the world. Angelina later shared the village's story during a United Nations summit. Standing before world leaders, she spoke passionately about the power of empathy and collective action. "This village was not just a project," she said. "It was a partnership. Their resilience taught me that even the smallest acts of kindness can create ripples that change the world." Back in the village, a tree was planted near the well, a symbol of growth, hope, and unity. Dahlia and Kamau watered it together, their hands clasping the roots with care. As the tree grew, so did the village's confidence in their future. Angelina departed with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that her mission was more than a fleeting act of charity. It was a reminder of what humanity could achieve when compassion and action came together. Like the video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.